Hi, folks, and welcome to another Sunday morning Samoflange. I'm Matt.
I'm Benjamin.
Hey! We've been reminiscing old Strauss Theater memories again. Again. Old people. Old friends.
Old friends, yes.
Old friends,
Jonathan
yes.
Weathersby, wherever you are. Say hello.
Gosh, I miss that dude.
He's a great dude.
I really miss that dude. He's an awesome dude. Anyway, you know who else is awesome?
Who else?
Michael Keaton.
I was just thinking about Michael Keaton.
You
Because
were?
we have a top 5
We're going to
list.
do top 5 of Michael
Prepared.
Keaton. Now, let me ask you this. Michael Keaton is probably, I'll have to ask my wife, but he's definitely in my wife's top 10. Maybe one of my wife's favorite all time, in her top 5.
Really?
But yeah, she loves Michael Keaton. She loves Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's great.
Right.
And I got to agree. Michael Keaton is a really awesome actor.
Yeah.
Who
Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing a podcast right now.
Started in comedy.
Yeah.
And then switched his career, which still does comedy every once in a while.
Yeah.
But switched it to serious roles and almost flawlessly, basically. I mean, he made the switch. And it's kind of hard to be, when you're stamped a comedian, every once in a while you can do a serious show, like Jim Carrey's, what was it?
Truman Show.
No, not the Truman Show. It was
The Majestic.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yes, man. Yeah.
It was really brilliant for him. We talked about Will Ferrell's movie. Oh my gosh!
Look, do you want to talk about our other top
No,
I'm
just saying. I'm just
now, or do you want to talk about Michael Keaton
No.
now?
I'm just saying.
The rule is
okay. No. I know.
Are you trying to milk some out of me?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that for a comedian to take on a serious role is kind of hard, but he did it. And then he did it well and went on to do several movies like that. So, and I have a little mix of both on my list here.
Same.
Because he's really good. And I will let you call how much crossover we're going to have.
I'm going to go with my highest number ever at 4. I really think that most of these will be the same on our list.
You may be right.
I'm going to give you an easy call.
I'm going to do 3.
You can't do a perfect
I got to do 3. No, I can't do 5. There's never been a perfect 5.
There never has.
There never will be. Okay, I'm going to go 3.
All right.
Or should I be daring? No, I can't go 2 because I think you're right. Okay.
I'm going to go with a really... That's
4.
my highest. This is the most confident I've ever been that we will have crossover.
Go for it. What's number 5?
This is the only one I'm wondering about.
Okay.
My number 5, which is Birdman.
My number 5?
No.
Shut up. Okay. Shut up.
Yeah, Birdman.
You have Birdman.
I do. I have Birdman.
Oh, I'm getting worried now. I may be wrong.
I know. So, starting off well. And but Birdman, it was hyped quite a bit.
Yes.
And some of the inside scoop that I know about producers and directors, especially as the red carpet is being unrolled for the Oscars, is that I have a few friends who worked in the industry who told me that these people don't watch movies for fun. They make them all day. They don't want to go home and do that. Yeah. That's so hard, and that's not their preferred form of entertainment. But a lot of these people, that's their job, is to know about these movies. And so right. I had a friend who was interviewing people on the red carpet the next week or whatever, and she had to God, I got to watch all these damn movies now that have been nominated, because she had to know who all the nominees were. She had to see the movies, be able to talk about them, and interview people for it. And she was a producer and did some stuff on and off camera herself, and so she's friends with Michael Bay, and so I have a friend of a friend who's friends with Michael Bay, right?
Hey,
and everybody's there's a million Michaels in the world, so she calls him Bay. And apparently that's what he goes by.
Wow.
He goes by Bay.
Hey.
And right. And he's a workaholic, and he flies all over the world, and does Transformers because he has they have Transformers 6 almost? 5?
I don't know how many.
But he keeps doing them because they keep paying him boatloads of money, and
why not?
And he loves to work. And he's like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, but Bay is gone most of the time, she says, not in his Hollywood mansion and such. And so he has a few people that he gives the key code, access key code to his basement theater in his house, because he got a full-on movie theater. But when the Oscars are rolling around and these people need to watch these movies and binge on them, Bay has a few people he gives the code to, and you can go in there at any time, and it's 24 hours a day, and it's fully serviced, and his group of his staff is in there. But you could go in there at any time, and there may be, A-list celebrities in there watching these movies that they haven't seen, or these people who are producers and whatever, and
Shut up.
they're all down there watching them, and the movies just play on loop constantly. And so whichever one you haven't
Catch a
seen,
showtime.
like there's a schedule, and it's showtime. So okay, I'm gonna show up back at 2:00, and
What?
they just loop them because these people have to know about them,
Right.
and they don't watch them the rest of the year. So she's in there. She goes in at like 3 in the morning or something, and just
Oh my
sits down.
gosh.
And it's a semi-empty theater, his house. So it's
Huh.
like maybe 30 seats or something, but
Yeah.
theater style. And she's watching these movies, getting ready for the red carpet, and that's a lot of what Birdman kind of is. Like they talk about that story, and Hollywood loves stories about them, and
Yeah.
that's part of the reason they vote for it. And but there was so much hype around Birdman,
Yeah.
right before the Oscars, and deservedly so. To be honest, it was
Yes.
surprisingly brilliant film.
I usually despise Oscar nominated
Agreed.
movies.
I watched it with that in mind. Like,
I did
what
too.
is this trash? And that's normally what I react to
Yes.
with an Oscar nominated or
Ditto.
winning film.
Ditto.
And I'm just like,
Yes.
oh, this is crap.
Yeah.
But then, like that's one of the reasons that I adore the movie La La Land, the musical. I adore that movie. But I feel like a lot of the reason it swept so many awards was because it's about them. And so of course they're going to vote for it. It's the people who live and work in that industry and who have experiences like that where they, oh yeah, I'm going to Bay's house and doot, and oh, there's Jack Nicholson watching this freaking movie with me, but whatever, who cares? And it's just sort of that's the life they live kind of thing. And so anyway, with Birdman and Michael Keaton in particular, like we talked about Alan Rickman before, and I think in that movie, there's never a single moment I don't believe everything he's doing, and that is a ridiculous script, ridiculous.
It's
and
amazing.
and it's incredible that it actually works. But he, I believe, is the reason it works. And there's
he obviously is.
few actors who I feel like could have done that. So few, and it works because of him, and that's why it's in my top.
It works because of him. It was the first continuous shot
I adore that
movie that obviously they made some edits in between. But the thing is though, you've never seen that before.
Right.
Now you have. There's a army movie I saw just recently. I can't remember something about the war.
like
I can't remember.
Dunkirk or no, or
It's,
something.
It's one continuous.
Like, the Chris Nolan movie that just came out?
I can't remember, but it's one continuous with quotation shot.
Ever since I've been watching movies, though, that's one of my favorite things that
I
directors
love
do.
it.
Like a long, contiguous shot is my favorite.
And the first time you saw that was, well, I think Birdman.
I don't know about that.
Because you kept seeing one continuous shot the whole time. Of course, obviously, there's edits here and there, but the thing is, it was incredible to me. I was like, wow.
Did a lot of that too.
Because I kept going, this is really intriguing. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it had other strong performances by Ed Norton. I forgot to mention Ed Norton was in that.
Friggin' brilliant.
Because I love Ed Norton. But and then plus, I think another reason why I like it, because it's that show, it's that play that's going on.
Yeah.
And being actors and doing backstage stuff, that is how rehearsals go. You can have people arguing about this or doing this or
relationships that go south.
The little behind the scenes, the dressing room stuff. I was like, man, I'm really, and just like you said, I was very engaged by the moment this started and all the way through. And then the ending, I like how it's mysterious.
I do too.
Does he fly away as Birdman?
Right.
Why is his daughter smiling?
And it doesn't matter.
Happened? Did he kill himself? I don't know. But you know what? It is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. You are right. It is phenomenal. It doesn't need to be explained.
No, and that's my pet peeve in movies. Contiguous shots and big long scenes where actors have to deliver a lot of lines is so good. And it goes unnoticed by so many lay people, I think, when they watch movies. But if you know a little bit about how movies are made, and if you've ever memorized lines before, like if you've ever done anything on stage, and you've had a good chunk of lines to remember, that is terrifying. Like that.
Oh yes.
Moment,
oh yeah.
Like,
you're on stage the whole time,
memorizing it, and you're like, God, how am I going to get this? And then you're up there, and
if you screw up one thing, they got to reshoot that whole long take.
The whole thing, and it's awful. And the amount of prep that goes into setting up for those scenes sometimes. And like Quentin Tarantino is good about it too, and just setting these great moments that you're just like, how could one person not screw that up? and they don't.
And
it just
there's a lot of those one takes there that in that movie. That movie is full of just one long takes where everyone has to be spot on their lines, on their entrances, on everything has to be fluid. You have to get in front of the cameraman even has to get to his spot.
And that's one of the things that I disparage movie actors versus theater actors sometimes, because the theater actors up there and they're raw and open and like you get one take, that's it. And then movie actors, like you see them like they come on David Letterman or something, and you're like, God, this guy like doesn't even know how to work a room or anything, like has no personality, but he's brilliant. Like cut, and it's cheap in some ways. But then you have some actors like Daniel Day-Lewis and Lincoln who gives that whole damn speech in one big shot over the table, and you can't blink because it's so good.
But the thing is, that just shows the professionalism of these actors to hit their cues, to be on the spot, to really, I mean, I don't know how much rehearsal went into doing those scenes, but that's just insane to me. I'm always impressed with long, continuous scenes, shots like that. I cannot remember the name of this Army movie. Everyone's going to say something in the comments below, but don't worry, I'm Googling it after this. But I remember the first time I saw one continuous shot was, I don't know if you've ever seen Ong Bak, Thai Warrior.
No.
It's a martial arts movie where he's fighting up the steps of these circular steps, and it's all one shot.
Is my favorite.
If anything goes wrong in those 20 minutes.
Jason Statham does the Transporter movies, right?
Oh, the Transporter.
The Transporter Part 1 has like 2 or 3 scenes,
continuous action
where
scene.
He's just kicking ass, and this camera never cuts.
No.
And like, what is he doing? But then every Transporter after, it's like, I could have been the damn Transporter. Like, give me a close up of my foot, and like I could have been laying down.
Not as impressive as
not
the first
even
one.
Close. It was
it's
awful.
Sad.
It was
it's
terrible.
Sad.
It was like Michael Bay directed it.
Yeah, no,
but
it's
it was
sad.
so different. But the first one was like a French movie, a French film, or it was.
It was done well.
It was so good. But tell me,
is that the one where he breaks the skates and he's on the oil and everyone's sliding around?
Yes,
that's a great scene.
And it's all it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's the one where he jump kicks into the peephole and the guy's looking through it, and it's so good. But that movie is one of my favorite gems too.
Well, see, I like long, continuous action scenes.
What was this action movie?
Ong Bak Thai Warrior.
I want to know what that is. If there's a giant 20-minute fight scene, and
it is, and they're slowly. The crane is obviously moving up the circular staircase, but you're following him as he's fighting villains. Every level, just about.
How old is this movie?
And it's older. It's like 15.
Well, that's what I want to know with the camera tricks.
I remembered. I was like, I turned. My brother went, "Can you rewind that?" I went, "What do you mean?" He went, "That was one whole shot." I went, "No, it wasn't." He went, "Yes, it was."
Oh my god!
And so we rewound it, and I was like,
"Never." That's amazing.
I said, "It's not cutting." He went, "I know." He said, I can't believe this is all in one shot. This is action. They got to hit their marks. They got to hit. One guy falls down the staircase, and the camera tilts down to watch him fall on the little thatch roof where the fight started, and then shoot back up to where they're still fighting.
No way.
So maybe at that point, maybe he got some water real quick, but he was back at it again. I was like, unbelievable. With their mouth open.
It's a little bit different with things like that from older movies is the reason I asked, because La La Land does that a lot. It looks like a contiguous shot, but
there's some smart edits in there. Yeah.
You know, like it cuts
walking
through a
down
wall, and there's like a quick, whatever.
Quick cut.
Yeah, it's a quick cut, but you can't see it.
You don't notice
but
it.
But my brain does. Like I can ooh, okay, there was the cut.
They went to the dark room and they came back out.
Yeah. But movies like that, no, they didn't do that back then.
They didn't have that back then.
Yeah,
and that's why things like the Transporter too, they had these long action scenes that you couldn't fake.
No, you can't fake it.
You couldn't fake it back then.
Amazing. So, but even if Birdman, like obviously they've got the camera tricks that they could do and everything like that for some of it. But look, I might be wrong. I mean, let me know in the comments, right? But he sold every second of that movie. And it was weird, but I don't care.
Here we go.
I think that you're right. It's the backstage bit that really makes it wonderful.
Yeah.
So number 4 is Batman.
Number 1 is Batman.
Yeah, we're still 2 for 2 as far as the list. So far.
You're gonna get me.
Okay, I'm sorry to jump on your number 1.
No, that's fine. Go ahead, talk about Batman.
Okay, so Batman. I'm done. That's it.
No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why Batman. The thing is, now I was a little kid back then. I didn't care that Michael Keaton was Batman. I just loved to see Batman.
Right.
There was outrage. Now I know why.
Yeah.
He was a comedian. Yeah. He was known for comedy, not for. And why do you get a guy? And I do remember thinking this. Michael Keaton doesn't look like Bruce Wayne. He doesn't look like he's the girl. No, he doesn't look like a chick.
You're
Doesn't look like the
right,
chick
because he's
magnet.
not.
Doesn't look like he'd be having the money.
You're right.
He doesn't look like the
He
billionaire.
doesn't look like a
He always
playboy.
before
pretty
then he always
boy.
played the bum, the
Yeah.
mid-level guy, the low blue collar worker. He was never the rich guy. He's
Interesting.
never played the rich guy.
And even if you're the comic fan, like that's not. You're like,
and it's never how you play Batman, because Batman has no personality. That's Batman. But it's how you play Bruce Wayne. And Michael Keaton played a great Bruce Wayne.
Why do you say that?
There's no way you would believe he was Batman.
That's a good point.
He's sarcastic, a little funny.
Yeah.
And like I said, the first movie. Now the second movie has some good stuff too, but the first movie with Michael Keaton, when he's sitting in the room with Kim Basinger, is that
Basinger?
Yeah.
Basinger,
and they're eating the soup. Can you pass the salt? Hello, what? Can you pass the salt?
Oh, there's like a mile-long table.
And he gets up and walks and passes the salt. He's like, "So do you eat here often?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I love this room. It's a." And then he kind of just looks around. He's like, "You know, I don't think I've ever been in this room." And I mean, here it is. Bruce Wayne is supposed to be charming, and supposed to get the ladies.
Yeah, and he does.
And Michael Keaton does that.
Yeah.
He's charming. He's charmingly funny, not goofy.
Which comes from being able to draw from comedy acting.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, for a comedy actor, it's hard not to push that envelope and say, I got to go for the laughs.
Yeah.
You know, I got to go for the laughs. No, it's just right in the line where he's charming.
That's a good point.
And making jokes on himself. And, you know, Alfred and him, they eat in that kitchen. That's a wonderful scene.
Yeah.
Where they're all just sharing a meal together and Alfred's telling the story and he's all laughing and everything. But you can tell there's a little bit up, you know, Bruce Wayne, the boy who lost his parents in there, because there's a little serious,
sadness,
a little sadness in it, a little serious in it. The part where he can't sleep, and of course he has to sleep upside down like a bat. Okay, whatever. But the thing is though that he can't sleep is nice too. There's little nuances in there, and the way he plays Bruce Wayne is absolutely brilliant. And to be honest, I love Val Kilmer, but he looks like a Bruce Wayne.
He does.
He looks like he could be a rich guy.
He could be. He probably is.
There's a lot of people who have the look, but Michael Keaton didn't have the look, and he pulled it off anyway. The confidence in it takes a lot to be Bruce Wayne. I think Christian Bale was an awful Bruce Wayne.
I was about to ask, what do you think of the Christian Bale?
I think he's awful.
Okay, why?
I think because he acts like an asshole when he's Bruce Wayne.
Did you like him as Batman?
No.
Okay.
I didn't like him as Batman.
So bad?
Bruce Wayne was bad. Bruce Wayne is not a jackass like Christian Bale was, getting drunk with a bunch of women jumping in the fountain. No, Bruce Wayne doesn't do that. And then look like this. No, Bruce Wayne doesn't. Batman doesn't.
Do you feel like that was Christian Bale or Chris Nolan who did that?
That is a great question. I want to say Christopher Nolan, because he hates superheroes.
Now.
No, he always has.
He
tried. Yes, he tried. That's why everything was made to look more realistic.
I thought that he hated it, and that's after Batman, because he got so sick of it.
Well, he got sick of it because people wanted it to be more comic booky, and he didn't want it to be. But the thing is, though, and I'm not saying the movies are bad.
Chris Nolan is a great director, but
like the first two movies were good. But the thing was, Christian Bale as a Batman, no, thank you.
Didn't like it. Huh?
No, thank you.
Interesting.
No, thank you. I don't even mind Ben Affleck as Batman,
He
because
surprised me.
He played an elder, more very esteemed Bruce Wayne. I bought that character. I like that character. But to be honest, going back to Michael Keaton, he shouldn't have been able to pull it off. And he did.
Ben Affleck as an honorable mention on that next podcast we're thinking about doing with actors that surprised me.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Because that did throw me. I was like, are you kidding? Who's the new Batman again? I forgot.
Twilight Kid. I can't remember his name.
Pattinson.
Yeah. I'm going to reserve my judgment and see.
No, Batman is. You're right, because there was outrage with Keaton. There was outrage with.
But I was too young to know that. But now, now thinking about it, I probably would have been outraged too.
Yeah.
You got Gilbert Gottfried to play the Joker. What? Right. And, it'd be like that wouldn't count. I understand why people are outraged.
You got the kid from Twilight to play Batman.
Wow. And but Michael Keaton shut them up.
Yeah,
he shut them up
and nailed it. Like they made
so much
money.
So that's why it was number one for me.
What's your favorite scene in that whole movie with your number one? Do you know? Do you have one right off the top of your head?
No, it's the scene where they're eating
the dinner table.
The dinner table. I love it. I love the joke, and then I love the edit to the kitchen where they're laughing, they're having a good time with Alfred, just around that small little table. They still have their they still have their plates of food. Right. They're drinking wine. They're just relaxed now. Yeah. It's not formal, and how it went from informal to formal like that. Just and Alfred is his family.
All right.
And that's the story
Right.
he's telling about. There
That's
was
so
Master
wonderful.
Wayne, but
Right.
I love that scene is so endearing. Of course, I'm Batman is pretty awesome too.
Well,
and when
yeah,
and when and when Jack Nicholson gets thrown into the vat of
into the
acid is great
yeah.
too.
Oh man.
When Jack Nicholson slams the mirror and starts laughing.
And the camera slow pan into his teeth. Where,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what a
The
creepy,
ending when he
way
died,
to do it.
Bob Gunn. I mean, there's just so many.
Batman though holds my record or my top 5. I just thought of a great idea. We need to come up with a top 5 podcast for raspberry moments, like worst moments in movies, that we just
There you go.
effing hate
There
so
you go.
much.
There's
Okay,
another one.
here's my top 5. I'm gonna give you
What?
a preview right now. No, I'm gonna give you one preview, and it's because this is in Batman. Right?
Go.
Batman is flying a $5 bajillion plane. Okay, top of the line, state of the art tech.
Batwing.
He sees the Joker. It's the Batwing. He's in it. There's night vision and shit. Okay, Joker's there. He puts the targeting scanners on the Joker. He zooms in. 1 zoom, 2 zoom, 3 zoom, 4 zoom, 5 zoom. Bullseyes on the Joker's forehead.
Yeah.
And he's laughing. He puts his arms out and says, "Come and get me, Batman." Fires everything. Fire everything.
Yeah.
Misses. And not just misses, but like pew pew, like little tiny little things happen right behind the Joker, and he pulls out that stupid ass long pistol and shoots him down with one shot. You talk about a part of any movie that makes me rage with fury.
The weakest machine that Batman owns is the Batwing.
That Batwing is just the most gigantic. It's like flying a TIE fighter, I guess, because they can't hit anything, and it's just fast as hell but unmaneuverable. So I don't know.
Anyway,
the Batwing is a TIE fighter.
Okay, so my number 4. I lost my 4 here. Okay, there it is. My number 4 is one we probably will not have. I'll be very surprised if we do. The Founder.
Oh, dang.
Okay. I knew that was the one. I knew that was the one we wouldn't have.
The Founder, I do not know.
Founder, he plays Founder Ray Kroc. It's a McDonald's movie. The origin of McDonald's.
Yes, I know that. I forgot to watch that.
It is great. He plays Ray Kroc, and it is
He's a villain,
wonderful.
Right? Or does he?
Kind of. Okay. You know, because Ray Kroc did kind of swindle the McDonald's. He swindled the McDonald's brothers out of McDonald's. Right. It's based off a real true story. Ray Kroc wasn't the nicest guy when it came to business. He came in, kind of wined and dined them, got them to franchise, and then slowly took over their business. That came out like
a few years ago, right?
Yes.
Because it's been on my list. I remember having.
You've got to see this.
Okay.
It's really good, but Ray Kroc, he knew a good thing, and he wanted to make this big. And when McDonald's brothers were kind of country boys and wanted to slow it down, he's like, "No, we got to keep growing. Okay, I got to get rid of you because I got to keep growing."
Wow.
And
you know what's funny is if I had seen that movie, it probably would be.
I think this would be. It would be if you'd have seen it. If you'd have seen it,
I'll have to move it back up on my to watch.
Please do, because the Founder's well worth your time. All right. So let's keep going. Number 3.
My number 3.
This is the make or break now.
Well, and this one could be not on the list, but this movie is it got underrated. I felt like, but I think it could be on your list because of our appreciation for multiple roles in one movie, and it's multiplicity.
It's an honorable mention.
No, it's an honorable mention.
I almost put it on the list.
Multiplicity, I think, does not get to do what it is.
Like, I love pizza. It's great.
I like pizza.
Oh yeah. My name's Steve. I like
pizza. The guy gets to play what? Any actor's dream. Like you get to play 20 roles or something. Like how many? Like 5.
There were 5 main roles, 5 distinct roles. The big talking Wookiee man,
right?
You know, because then the house guy that likes to break and iron and do all this.
So many people haven't seen Multiplicity.
Oh, it's my brother. If he was here, it'd be in his top 5,
no
guaranteed. And maybe at number 2.
Really underrated.
It'd be my brother's number 2, probably.
And it got terrible scores and reviews and like things. And
it's a shame because you're right. Michael Keaton gets to, but it's a great story too.
Yeah,
it's a man who doesn't. How many times have we thought we don't have enough hours in the day? I wish there were, even if there were 2 of me.
Right.
Well, so he finds a way to copy himself, but every time he copies himself, it comes out wrong a little bit, and he finds out that even though he keeps copying himself to do, one guy takes over work. Then he has all these house duties. Man, then he gets another one to do the house duties. Right. Then he has other things. Then he's got to take care of the kids, then I'll have another person do that. And so he keeps making copies of himself, but he's still has too much. Yeah.
And
Well, then they start making copies.
They make copies. Yeah.
They make, which is where Steve is.
Right.
Because he's the kind of dummy that kind of keeps takes care of all of them.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to do work.
Right.
And
I need to watch it again, but
yeah, I do too. It's
ever
a great
since
movie.
the moment I saw Multiplicity, I'm like, that is amazing. And
it's a great movie.
Because I remember even then thinking like, what a dream that would be as an actor to pull that off, and he did it.
He did it, and it's a movie that makes you think. You think, man, what could I do with 2 of me, 3 of me? I like movies that make you think. Just like we talked about this for Groundhog's Day. It makes you think. What if I was doing the... I thought the same thing after I saw Multiplicity, and I'm shocked that no one's ever remade something like this before. Making copies of yourself to go do stuff.
A remake of that by now?
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. Anyway, yeah.
So that was my number 3.
Okay. My number 3 is another comedy. It's the oldest one on my list here. And it would be my brother's number 1 is definitely I did any of my top 3 here can be my number 1, by the way.
Okay.
All right. I quote this movie all the friggin' time. Schooner Tuna. The tuna with the heart. Yes, my friends, is Mr. Mom. Mr. Mom is great.
All right, I missed out on our crossover.
That's okay.
Mr. Mom is my honorable mention.
It's your honorable mention. That's okay. Well, we switched out Multiplicity and Mr. Mom.
Okay.
So we switched them out there.
Mr. Mom was my honorable mention, and I didn't like it as much as most people did.
I love that movie. Him and his kids, Daddy, my French toast is cold, and he grabs it and puts the iron on it, and then hands it back to her. He irons the French toast. I was like, this is wonderful. Yeah. And the whoopee, the kid with the whoopee, he's afraid of the vacuum cleaner. Just all this stuff, all these little things that he thinks that it's the old time switcheroo back when women were in the household, men were the breadwinners, and so they switched the roles here. And he finds out that his wife's job as housewife is not that easy. It's way harder. Right. But the thing is, though, having twin girls, heck yeah. Anyone who says
I need to go back and watch that again, just for what we were talking about last time with Alan Rickman, because there's so much of Alan Rickman that I love that you can't script. And I want to say that now that as you're recalling these scenes, and I think about the iron on the toast and stuff,
it's great.
You can't script that. It's just him reacting to it and adding his flair.
And I wonder how much of his ad lib was in this.
No, you think it was ad lib?
What kind of campy, silly moments can we make up with him? Because there's a lot of stuff like that that's really good. And he plays it well. When he has that dream. I love that dream sequence where, he has the sexual fantasy about the neighbor he's always wanted, but then she's going to kill him. And then he falls down dead, but he misses the chalk outline. She goes, excuse me. He goes, oh, sorry. And he moves over and you're like, wait, what is going on? And then he wakes up and that's his wake up call saying, what am I doing? He gets rid of the old robe. He shaves his beard. He was totally, his wife, who he thought was going to fail, is very successful. But the more she gets successful, the more she just misses her kids in her home. Yeah. Now, today, people be like, oh, so women just want to be in the house. Folks, ain't nobody want to be a full-time housewife. You be a full-time housewife, that's the hardest job you'll have. Yeah. Okay? That can be one of the hardest jobs you have, being a full-time parent and watching them kids all the time. That's a full-time job. That's a hard job, and that should be very respectful. So this movie respects that, I think, at the same time. And of course, he's the man. He gets to go back at the end. He gets to go back to work, and she gets to go what she wants to do. There's nothing wrong with this because she loves the kids and she's better at it. And you can see that he is no good at it. But she's way more better. It's funny because if you think about it, people say, "Oh, this demeans women." They really just want to be how. I saw a review that said the only thing bad about this is they make the old cliche that women are better in the house. No. It's she was excellent in business, and she's excellent as a mom. She can do it all, but she gets to choose what she wants to do.
Some people just want to complain.
Some people just want to complain, but I love this movie. It is fantastic. Cool. My number 3. All right. What is your number 3 now?
My number 2.
Oh, 2.
3 was Multiplicity.
All right.
Birdman, Batman, Multiplicity, and then Up to Much Ado About Nothing is where I was.
Oh, wow. I even missed this.
Yeah.
So we're only at 2 crossover now.
Well, see, no.
Yeah, really? We don't count the honorable mention.
Oh, shoot, you're right.
So I'm off too. We both lost this one. Okay.
Surprised. But Much Ado About Nothing was just because we talked about it before, and it's one of my favorite Shakespeare plays, and he plays one of my favorite characters, and I think I'm a little biased towards it with that, but
No, I understand.
his comedy at its golden finest is Dogberry, and just makes me laugh out loud every time. Just like you and I are big fans of Jim Carrey's Grinch character. And we can probably quote most of that movie.
All of it.
To one another. And we will excuse the podcast from delving into that right now. And
we're going to do a Grinch cast now that you say that.
That's our Christmas special.
There you go.
That's the holiday special.
There you go.
But that is one of the scenes, the characters that he plays just flawlessly to me. And I laugh out loud every single time. And I can't not. And so I can't really even give you a lot about it, but it's perfect.
My number 2 comes from a movie that I was determined not to like. Not only did I like it, but Michael Keaton plays a villain, and it is the best Spider-Man villain ever, Spider-Man Homecoming.
You like that?
Him as the Vulture is the best. In fact, the second movie was not
him as the Vulture.
I loved him as the Vulture. What? He is the best Spider-Man villain to date.
No.
In movies.
No.
For me, he is.
That's quite
The Vulture was very good.
I mean, look,
it was done very well.
And make sure we understand what you're saying here.
Yeah.
Repeat that for the audience.
Sure.
So they don't have to rewind it.
I'll give you the scene that it happened. The car scene where Peter Parker finds out who he is, and he finds out who Peter Parker is, and his daughter's in the car.
Yeah.
And the daughter thinks that he's giving him a hard time because that's her date.
Right.
But he's really menacing because it's Spider-Man. Yeah. It's a great tense scene where one girl totally misreads it.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Honey, you going in? I need to talk to old Peter here." And he's like, "Dad, don't worry, I'll be nice." But the whole time, Peter's like, OMG, he knows now.
And the audience is too.
And the audience is too. It's a great subtle scene. Plus, biggest surprise ever was when you find out that is her dad.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Really?
And when you open the door and, he doesn't recognize Peter, but Peter recognizes him, you're like, oh, shnipe, they're going to do this, aren't they? I mean, I was impressed by that. And I told my brother that Michael Keaton was in like the Stinger in 2 or whatever. I think. I can't remember, but at the end of the credits, I think Michael Keaton had a small scene in it. But the thing is, though, Michael Keaton needs to be in every movie from now on. It has to be the Vulture leading the Sinister Six or whatever. And the Vulture is one of the lamest characters in Spider-Man's villains, rogue gallery. But he did a fantastic job.
Keaton as Vulture is the best
Spider-Man villain in movies today.
Okay.
In movies today. Okay. No, I love the Green Goblin.
I was thinking.
I'm a Green Goblin fan.
Yeah,
from comic books.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they dressed him up as a Power Ranger, so I wasn't a big fan of that. William Dafoe would be a great character. They made a creepy mask and made the Green Goblin menacing.
Peter.
Harry Oswald Jr. and Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man series, but. Vulture, best Spider-Man villain in the movies.
Did you like the animated Spider-Man?
I never watched it.
I watched it just a few months ago.
I hear it's good.
I was so surprised at how great it was. And I'm a huge fan.
I hear it's on par with the Batman animated series.
I was so impressed.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I never watched it in the first place. And it was one of those times when I was like in the middle of moving or something big was going on and I never got to watch it. And I just turned it on and it blew me away. So definitely worth your time.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right on.
So really surprised.
Right.
It's probably my favorite Spider-Man movie now.
Hey.
What was it called? The new one.
The newest one? The newest one?
Not the newest. For crying out loud.
Who is the villain?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. It doesn't matter. There you go. It
doesn't matter. That was the guy's name.
Okay. There you go.
He had a big suit and everything, and it transformed into like twinkles and stereos, and I'm making up words.
Okay, so that's it for now.
Yeah,
we'll see you next time.
Let's quit. Well, hang
on more.
Are we done?
I think. Do you have a number 1?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, we didn't. We named my number 1. What's your number 1?
I did name your number 1.
I'm so sorry.
How did we not get through an entire podcast? How did we get through an entire podcast with Michael Keaton and never mention Beetlejuice until now?
You know what? I'm not a Beetlejuice fan. My wife, it's her number 1 movie.
No kidding.
No, for Michael Keaton.
Okay.
For Michael Keaton, that's her number 1 movie. She loves Beetlejuice. I'm not a Beetlejuice fan.
When was the last time you watched Beetlejuice?
It's been a couple of years, I'll be honest.
You
It's
should
been a long
watch it
time.
just for
Probably so.
Keaton.
Probably so.
Really, truly.
I just did not like that movie.
That's
But
fine. I mean, you know what? I don't think I liked it much when I first saw it, and not when I was younger. I appreciate it now more watching him,
okay.
and because he's my number one. It's my number one.
Where's Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian? The rumored sequel that they keep talking about every so often.
You know what? Everyone would have watched that, and
My
it
wife
would make
would.
a ton of money.
It might.
It will.
It might.
You just wait. And but Beetlejuice is there because of Keaton. And honestly, I don't like most of the movie. It's creepy as hell, and it's weird, and it's a fun story. I like it's a what if sort of story. I like, what if I was a ghost, and what if I was dead, and I could only do this, and like, it makes me think in that way.
Okay.
For me, with Baldwin, and that's another one that's fun to watch. If you're a fan of like, have you ever seen 30 Rock?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a Baldwin fan.
He's great,
but I haven't seen 30 Rock, which I hear is good.
Man, that's one that 30 Rock is the reason I'm a Baldwin fan. I think.
There you
go. But it's fun to watch him doing that. But also, what was the Gina Davis? She was fun, but they're forgettable. Is my point. Keaton does this all-star performance with Beetlejuice, and he never fails to fill every single moment of his scenes.
I don't doubt that.
Not just funny, but like the dude's just riffing, and you can tell. Like there's that one. I've been talking about actors who add more to a scene by their mannerisms and facial expressions and stuff. I'm talking about and that's the reason I liked Alan Rickman and so much, and other actors I've mentioned, is because it's not that they're ad-libbing. It's not that they're making up stuff on the script, because a lot of directors won't let you do that. Most of them won't let you do that. Writers won't let you do that. Very few. And then even if you can ad-lib, you've only got a few days on the set where you're allowed to ad-lib. But for the most part, because of contract regulations, scripts, requirements, and everything, they can't. They have to say what is on the page. Star Trek, especially, like TNG, and Voyager, they were like, if you listen to any of the actors talk, like, you cannot say even an extra like an nothing. You said what was on the page, and you did not get one extra word.
That's true.
No matter what.
Yeah.
And so a lot of movies and directors are like that too. And so when I say that an actor is giving it their own flair, I don't mean that they're making stuff up. I mean that they're putting their iron down on the French toast in a certain way that is in the script. It's in the script for him to do that, probably. But the way he does it is impossible to direct someone to say that. And so that's what I love about Beetlejuice, and that's why it's my number one, because there are moments where he riffs. You can tell he's making stuff up. But every moment he's on camera, he's giving it 100%. And it is extra. And you can see it. And I try to visualize, especially with really comedic parts, I try to visualize the script in my mind. Like, as an actor, if somebody handed me this script with these lines on it, could I have done that? Could I have pulled that off and like read these lines just on the page, black and white, and turned it into that? That's why he's genius, is because he takes stuff and rehearses it, and moments come to him that he creates a character. And really, not just anybody can stand up there and deliver lines. That's one thing I hate about on stage, and like actors like you were saying about Bruce Willis about in Die Hard 5.
Right.
He's up there saying the lines, knowing that it's gonna work, quote unquote. New Star Wars movies, they're saying the lines, and it's supposed to work on the page, but it doesn't for a reason, because you're not Harrison Ford, and you're not giving it.
That's true.
Charisma. You're not,
you're not into the scene.
Exactly.
And everyone can see that.
You're just saying the lines, and everybody can see it.
Yeah,
and that's what Keaton does in Beetlejuice for me, is that every single moment there is no phoning it in, and the guy's a genius.
Awesome.
It's been Saturday morning again.
Hey.
And I've loved it.
I love it too. And you know what?
What's that?
We'll see you again next week.
We'll see you again next week on
Saturday
morning.
Samoflange!
Dissonance!